Good morning, sweet being. It's lovely to see you. I was just wondering if the live was going to start because it was taking its time, but it has. And here we are on another very crisp morning. Clearly lots of blue skies. A little bit of a breeze to just move the trees, but nothing dramatic. And I don't know, let me show you what's over here. What is over here? We have, remember the iris in spring? These are last year's leaves. And look, here are the new ones coming up. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, Andrew. Lovely to have you join us. So, yeah, you can see the new growth coming. And you can see all of the loganberry bits that I have to dig out. Because I moved the loganberries, but I knew when I did it that there would be roots that I couldn't get out and they all sprout. Look at the parsley. So beautiful. Sanchia, good morning. It's really contrasty, but you know, it's this beautiful green. Let me find some shade for you. There, it's this beautiful green and the lovely colour. And although it's not related, here's the golden feverfew. And again, I've got to seek shade so you can really see the colour, or maybe full sunshine. But the contrast makes it difficult. Anyway, there you are. Now I'm the shade. That's better. Now you can see. I just love this plant. It's a kind of chrysanthemum. But clearly chrysanthemum and parsley aren't too distantly related. What else do we have up here? We have some yellow daisies, very bright. And this is the bush that I haven't pruned. I'll get to it, but the last time it wasn't in flower, it was just not time to prune it, and now it is. The trees pretty much tell me what they need when they need it. And up here is more of this faithful purple campanula that we never get tired of, at least I don't. And there's the flower inside. Oh, excuse me. There you are. So it's a beautiful thing and I'm very fond of it. And this is fun. I was given some seed of poppies, heritage poppies, and I've scattered it here. So next spring there'll be poppies. But right now all there is potential. What else have we got? Oh look, we've got the fancy Latin name is Pseudopanix, otherwise known as five finger, because the leaves come in groups of 5. And right now I do not know the Māori name for it. And well, there's the view, there's the garden, there's the lavender that still needs me to prune it. And there is sun coming through the wattle, Australian import, which will flower in winter, probably in June, and be very bright and yellow for us. And I enjoyed this the last time I showed it to you. Look at the native flax, because it's growing in the shade. It's quite soft and luscious, and it just moves in the wind. So that's beautiful. The sun. I love playing with camera flares. And you can see little rainbow colours around it. Anyway, I'm going to turn the camera around now. Now, today I want to talk about overwhelm, because it happens, right? You just have a big stack of stuff that piles up and suddenly, boom, it's like an avalanche descends upon you, and your brain kind of explodes thinking, oh God, how am I going to get all this done? And I know exactly what this is like, because it happened to me relatively recently, a couple of months ago. I say relatively recently. And I might explain I'll explain the circumstances now. So my mother went into a retirement home. And it's just been the best thing for her. I'm so glad. She's so happy. It's really good. And my sisters and I, we went to the house and we made some decisions about what was going to be kept and what was going to go away. We did not have to empty the house. That was a great blessing. We paid somebody else to do that. And you know, things were recycled and donated, and only the stuff that really needed to go to the waste tip was sent there, which is important to all of us. So we did the best job we could with that. And as a result of that, I brought a few things home, and I mean a few things, because when I look at something and think I want to take this home, the first thought that goes in my head is, where am I going to put this? Seriously. That's why I don't really often like people to give me things. Poriwa, good morning! Because now it's a thing, and I have to do something with it. Seriously, this is how my head works. But there were things that I decided to take home, and only a few of them. But I got home, and I looked for places to put things, and it was just like, oh God, there is nowhere. And I immediately felt like there was just stuff all around me. There was nowhere to put any freaking thing. It was just amazing. And my brain did a little spaz. It used to do a large spaz. I used to be that if I got upset, the thing I would do was clean up. Because I always knew that I couldn't think in a mess. And I still don't enjoy being in a mess. I do not like clutter. I don't like having no places to put things or no space to think, which is what it felt like. And there it was. I brought these few things home, and suddenly it felt like there was no space to think. And it was like, ah! So then I thought, that's it. It's time to declutter. Because, not going to ignore this. So I start the process, but here's where this is relevant to the question. So there's all the stuff I want to declutter, and at the same time, the double glazed windows that got done now more than a year ago, and the outsides got painted, and I got them all sealed up last summer, with the intention that this summer I would finish the insides of them. Like, they're still raw, they're still not finished, just clean what I got them all sanded and prepped and beautiful. And then winter came, and you can't do that in the, and I didn't have the equipment, and it took me a while to get everything organised, and I've had everything I needed since early this year, but I haven't got to it. So there's the windows, there's the decluttering, and also in the garden, it's the time to clean everything up and transplant things and weed, and there's mulching, and the big mulching pile which is gone now. There's just all this stuff clamouring at me. And also, it's only stuff I can do. It's stuff only I can do. My husband does other things, but it's stuff only I can do. And there are limited spots in my day, in my week rather, where I get to do it. Julian, Jen, good morning, beautiful beings. So not only did I have all these things that were clamouring at me in my mind saying, do me, do me, do me, do me, and I've been waiting a year, and these are your $10,000 windows, and the garden is going to get away from you, and oh my God, there's no room to think. But really, I only have about half a day, once a week, that is really, truly clear space where I can do stuff like that. There are other little moments where I can carve out, if there's an opportunity for 10, 20, maybe even 30 minutes, they pop up. There are little windows in time. But some of these things need focused time. To do the windows, I know I need afternoons, not one. They need 3 coats. And there's 4 windows. It's not going to happen in a few hours. And so my brain is doing that calculation thing that I talked about yesterday. And saying, oh God, how's this going to happen? How's this going to happen? There's only me, and no one can help me with this. So that, for me, was a situation that a few years ago I would have gone quite, about it. What I understand now about that is that the really awful, awful, awful feeling of being at the foot of a mountain and looking up and it's like you're looking up and it gets taller the more you look at it. And it just becomes more overwhelming and more scary and more, I don't even have a set of crampons, never mind a rope or an ice pick or a plan, right? I understand now that that awful feeling is not caused by the mountain. That awful feeling is caused by my reaction and my response to the mountain. It's caused by me perceiving all of these things that need to be done, and sure they do, and time dependency and everything, and financial impacts and all of that. But if I allow those stimuli in my environment to send me into survival mode, and I haven't talked about survival mode for ages, so I guess what I'm going to talk about next, I'm going to feel awful. I'm going to feel tired just at the thought of it, and I'm not going to be able to think clearly about how to start. Forget finishing. Just, what can I do now? Now, survival mode. What is survival? I talk about this a lot in terms of saying that, if you get stressed, then whatever it is that stressed you, the same thing happens in your brain. Your brain recognizes an external stimulus like, oh my God, I don't have space to think. I mean, that's an assessment that I've made. The external stimulus is, here is a thing and I do not know where to put it. And everywhere I look, there's stuff that's in the way of me putting it somewhere. That's the external stimulus. The is me saying, pattern recognition, I don't have space to think and I feel bad about it. Automatic, recognition response, right? So when I recognize I don't have space to think and I feel bad about it, there's chemistry that pours from my brain that sends my body into a stress response. And when you are in a stress response, there's the advanced, creative thinking, logical, reasoning, rational part of your brain literally has blood flow directed away from it. Blood flow goes to the instinctive part of the brain, the habitual, automatic, program part of the brain, and that is the part of the brain that you use to run, to fight, or to freeze. That's it. Those are your choices. Now you don't have a rational capacity to work out how to deal with your overwhelm. You're just feeling your overwhelm. Your response, your reaction to your overwhelm has been to say, there's a tiger in the room, I've got to run away. And so now all you can do is feel, it's like you're sitting in a racing car with your foot on the gas in neutral. Or actually, more correctly, your foot's on the gas, the engine is racing, and you've got the brake on as well. Because it's not like you can run around in circles like a mad thing and scream. Your body feels like that, but because there are people sitting next to you or, whatever, you restrain it. So your body's saying, go, 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 I need to run away, I need to fight, I need to, something. And you are just, but I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that, and I can't think, and I can't work it out, and I want to run away, but I can't. And, so you're just revving, and going nowhere. That is survival. And in that state, you don't have a brain to think with. You only have a brain to run with, fight with, and freeze with. That's it. Those are the choices. And that awful feeling is not because of the mountain. It's because of your reaction to the mountain. So you know what the solution is. You've got to change your reaction. You've got to change your response. You've got to wrangle your brain and your body into some kind of relative sanity out of survival. Because once you can do that, you can look at the piece of the mountain that's in front of you and just deal with that. And this is a skill that I'm getting better at, much better at. And I learned it, of course, in the garden, where it's a bit easier for me because, the garden, whatever, it's not life or death. I just enjoy it. And I like to keep it organised because if it's a mess, I don't have space to think. Same trigger, right? I remember this from decades ago. If the garden wasn't tidy, I would feel distress. Seriously. So, I'm a lot more relaxed about it now. But what I found, what I learned, and I know I've mentioned this before, that daisy that I showed you at the beginning where I said, well, it stopped flowering in summer because, of course, there's no water, right? So it kind of goes into conserving energy mode. And now it's autumn, there's rain, it's flowering again. And I know that when the daisy stops flowering, you've got to prune it. But I never got the signal from the daisy to say, prune me. And the reason why I can rationalise it out, I never got that signal, is because it was too dry. It wasn't going to have what was necessary to produce new leaves, so it would have stressed. It wouldn't have been ideal for the daisy if I pruned it in summer. Now it's autumn, I'll let it flower, and there'll be a point at which the flowering is over, and then I'll prune it, and it'll come away like a mad thing, because there's plenty of water around by the time that happens. I get that information intuitively now. And by that, I mean I just get a feeling. So, I know it's not time to do that. I know it's when it is time to transplant something or to weed this particular bed because the weeds are big enough to be easy to pull out. It's all of these little cues which when I'm relaxed, I can pick up on and I get the idea of what I need to do. Yet disorganisation, I think, makes a lot of us feel quite distressed. It's like, because it's not nice. It doesn't feel good. So it's, and also, I think it can mirror disorder inside us. I'm pretty sure that was a part of it in me. It's like, oh my God, not only do I feel all scrambled inside, now it's outside of me. So I've started to tune into the signals in the garden that say, do this. No, don't do that yet. It's not time for that yet. No. Go here. And I will literally sometimes walk out the door on the Saturday afternoon when I have time and think, so where are we going today? And my body will take me, because my body is, my heart, that electromagnetic field that is connected to the unified field that knows everything, including what's going on in my garden, just says, oh, go over here, do this. And there's a natural flow when I trust it, even though my intellectual mind is saying, but there's this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and all this stuff needs doing. And it's like, no. You just do this. So instead of running around in tight circles, and even, in the moment thinking, oh, well, I'm doing this, but I need to get that done, I need to get that done afterwards. So I'm never really present with what I'm doing, because I'm always worrying about the next thing that I've got to do and the thing after that. I'm not present. If I can get out of that survival, I got to run, I got to try, I got to push, I got to force, this is going to be hard, this is really difficult mode, and into, well, right now I'm just dealing with this. That really helps me, because then I'm not focusing on the mountain, I'm just focusing on the step that I'm taking right now, and have I got shoes on, and I can actually take this step. So you have to put your blinkers on. And so what I've more recently been discovering is that with, the to-do list on my desk of call this person and solve this problem with your life paperwork or whatever, and manage this situation and make this decision and deal with this financial thing and sign these legal documents and the windows, the windows, how the hell are the windows going to get done? That to-do list I now treat the same way, and I actually don't force myself to do, I have to get this done, I'll actually rest in my heart for long enough to feel, okay, I'm going to do this today, this fits, I have a slot in time. Yesterday I had a slot in time, because I now have Wednesday mornings off. I had a meeting in the Heartfield that was beautiful, and then I had an hour or so afterwards. And in fact, before I could go live, I had to wait, because my husband was in a meeting, and my husband shares me live, so I had to wait. And I thought, well, I've got 10 or 15 minutes, what am I going to do with this time? And I just wanted to go down to the garage and sort out a little pile of stuff that needed to be sorted out. The decluttering's still going on, but it's like I've reached a point, and my heart says to me now, okay, now the rest of that can wait until the cold weather. You can be inside to declutter. And what I've realised is I've made space in the house. There's still stuff to do downstairs, a ton of stuff to do downstairs in the garage. But upstairs there's more space. Okay, so that urgent part is gone. Now you're into window land. That's it, that's the next focus. Because the garden's more or less organised, whatever. So I get this information when I'm not in stress and when I'm not in survival. Let me check the clock. Okay, doing quite well. So that really is how I deal with overwhelm. And the key is, of course, if you've gone into overwhelm, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling over it all, like, oh, feck, why is it just me that has all this crap to do? Because for a long time it was just me. Because my husband had this injury. It was invisible. But he was quite disabled for a long time. And there was a lot of stuff I had to carry, and I just got used to being the person that had to do it all. And now I'm not, and I'm slowly, becoming the person that doesn't have to do it all. But I know what that feels like. It's just all on me. But if you stay in that space of feeling that overwhelm and really feeling victimized by it, well, then you are, and you're sending that signal to your body, and you're sending that signal to your world, and it's just a lot better if we can use the tools we have to get out of that space and refuse to even speak or think the thought that says, oh, this is too much for me. Hey, it's here. It's here. You might as well deal with the one piece of it that you can deal with today or in this moment. And then in the next moment, decide what's the one piece that you can deal with in that moment. It takes a discipline when you're used to just throwing your hands in the air and thinking, oh God, I'm over this. It really does. And I know what that feels like. But I'm just inviting you and encouraging you. G'day, Sandy! Mwah! To step out of that habitual way of being. Because speaking from experience, you got to stop being that person And then your life can change. As long as you remain being that person, your life's going to keep being the same, because you're still sending the same signal out to the universe, and you're still feeling the same feelings, which is what draws more of that experience back to you. I understand that even better now. Literally, today, yesterday, just penny dropped. Might explain that sometime soon. Alright, I know I'm out of time. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a beautiful day. Whatever we're facing, it is our opportunity to create and to change and to choose who we are. So do that with love for yourself, because you sure deserve it. Big love. I'll see you tomorrow.